What are your biggest insecurities? My insecurities derive from body image. Young women like myself are constantly struggling with the pressures to look a certain way due to the standards media has deemed as beautiful. It's a downward spiral of constantly comparing yourself to people, and for me, has a huge negative impact on my mood with a day-to-day basis. So I can totally relate to this. Like, sometimes I really think I do have body dysmorphia. I played D1 soccer here. I really know where I've been and where I want to be. So like, there's always a constant thing in the back of my head telling me like, you got to eat better, you got to like work out better. But it's really hard. It honestly is super hard because you just want to be like this skinny girl you see on Instagram or like the models you see. So I can definitely relate to this. What is your happiest memory? My family and I emphasized weekly dinners together where we just would talk in a distraction-free environment and enjoy pure conversations, and it always ended in playing family board games. I love them, or when I found out I was going to be a big sister. I now have 4 siblings, and there's nothing more I love than spending time with them whenever I see them because we all don't live close to each other. I think that's like amazing because I've always been super close with my family, and like I grew up with 2 older brothers and I could not imagine life without them or my family. So I think that's pretty cool. What kept you going through your hardest times? I thought of my family and friends and all that they've done for me to help me get to where I am. I sometimes couldn't find it in myself to be strong, so I would resort to people that mattered the most to me. When I think of this question, I will think of my dad off the bat. He's been my biggest supporter, and a moment I want to say is when I was deciding to quit soccer, basically something I've been doing my whole life, and I cried. I was devastated, didn't want to tell anyone because it was something that definitely defined me as a person, and I called my dad and I braked down and like completely started crying, and he's like, Amanda, like, you're telling me all of this now, and like I just want you happy, like you need to do what's best for you. And as simple as those words were in my head the whole time when I wasn't telling him, I just didn't want to disappoint him, and the fact that he said that to me like meant the absolute world, like literally my day one.
If your dad was standing here right now, what would you tell him?
I'd say, Dad, I love you. Thank you for pushing me to be the best person I can be, and thank you for helping me, like, just helping shape who I am today. What is your biggest regret? My biggest regret would be not taking a chance on an ex and best friend when I had the chance. We dated as freshmen in high school, and she left me, and I was destroyed for the rest of high school. When she finally came around towards the end of high school, I denied her because I was too prideful. I wanted her to feel miserable just as I did for a few years. She was my first true love, and I still think about her to this day. Not as a what if kind of thing, but more as a I hope she's doing well and happy kind of thing. It's been 8 years.
If that was you in that situation, would you have done anything differently?
Personally, if I was this guy, heartbreak's hard in high school. I feel like everyone goes through it. But looking back on everything like in my life, I would say towards that end of high school part and how he denied her because he was too prideful, I just think that instead of being too prideful, like, this girl was your best friend, and sometimes you kind of just need to not necessarily forget the past, but respect it and move on. And maybe this day, like to this day, like they would still be friends even though like dating didn't work out. But I would definitely say like he could have like just reached out to her and like checked on her, and it doesn't have to be like him wondering this whole time. What would you say to someone who is dealing with a mental health illness? One thing I would say to someone dealing with mental health illnesses is that you are not alone. I know at times that's exactly what it feels like, but I promise you that you aren't. Do your best to try and surround yourself with loved ones, and please do not go through this thinking that it isn't okay to tell someone about your illness. And going off what this person said, I completely agree with that you aren't alone. There's so many cases around the world, around the globe, and it just kept in the dust. Basically, no one talks about it, but it's definitely okay to talk about it, because I feel like once you spread awareness and you talk about it, it's something that becomes more common, and there's other people dealing with it, so you can confide in other people. And just remember, like, you're loved. Like, there's so many people just like you, and you're not going to do this like by yourself. What is your greatest act of kindness? My greatest act of kindness would have to be in high school, when I befriended a girl that was so self-conscious about her weight. I became her friend because she didn't have many, and I saw it as an opportunity to help someone smile. We became close friends, actually, and I got her to open up and to become happier with her life. She ended up asking me to homecoming, and I was a football team captain, so she was scared because she said she didn't want to embarrass me, but I said yes, because who cares what people think, right? Well, I actually tore my knee, and my knee surgery was scheduled on the day of homecoming, so I couldn't go, and she never accepted my apology. She hasn't spoken to me ever since. I just want to say to that guy, whoever it is, that is the best thing ever. And just like for you to take the time out of your day to make someone smile and be their friend and do what you did, that's pretty damn heroic, I want to say. And you probably made her smile all the damn time. To the girl, that's pretty jacked up, because I think she definitely ruined a friendship with a person like who saw so much in her, and like she didn't see that just because he couldn't go to homecoming, and she definitely lost a really good person there. That's what I would say. But that guy did really great.